This is the plaintiff, Robert Burns. He says the defendant was driving down his street and swerved to avoid a cat in the road and ended up crashing onto his lawn, destroying his lawnmower and a garden. Luckily, he wasn't mowing the lawn at the time because he would have been killed for sure. The defendant refuses to return his calls or pay for his damages, so he's suing for the $189.99 he's owed. This is the defendant, Brandon Brisbois. He says he and the plaintiff agreed he'd work on his farm so he could pay off the debt of ruining his mower, and also gave him his father's lawnmower to cut the grass. He worked picking fruits and vegetables, gave him a good mower, and he has no idea why he's being sued here and now. He's accused of mowing down a mower.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant swerved to avoid a cat, swerved onto the defendant's lawn, and ran over the lawnmower. But the defendant says the plaintiff said he could work off the debt. It's the case of he fought the lawn.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Ike Farms, LLC, and Robert Burns, you're the owner? You are suing Brandon Brisbois?
Yes.
For $189.99, the cost of a lawnmower that you say he crushed when he crashed onto your property. Tell me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. I was away from the farm, and I returned. And when I returned, my small garden, the vegetables were wiped out, and the lawnmower was crushed. And this is a picture of the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Definitely crushed.
Okay.
And the defendant contacted me and worked for a couple hours in the garden.
Wait, back it up. How did you find out who had done it? Do you call the police when you realize what has happened? What's the next thing you do when you realize what's happened?
Yeah, an officer came and I showed him the information.
Oh, because the person didn't leave, the person stayed. What happened? Tell me what happened. I'll be with you in a second.
I was driving on the road and I avoided an animal and I hit his lawnmower.
You were trying to avoid what kind of animal?
It was a cat.
Okay. And so to avoid the cat lived, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
So to avoid the cat,
and
you skidded onto his property?
Yep, hit his lawnmower.
Why don't you come over here and show me on the car? Oh, we got a lawnmower and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
I love my staff.
So the lawnmower was located right here. There was a small little garden right here.
Okay.
And there was.
You see where we wrote driveway, garden, and everything?
Yep, that's very nice.
But is it real?
That's it. There was a tree right here too.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
There was only one car in this.
Okay.
So I was going around the corner and.
Do we have a cat? Oh goodness. Okay.
Drove like this and.
Oh, so you actually drove into the driveway to avoid the cat?
Yeah.
Because luckily there happened to be a driveway to your right?
There happened to be a driveway right there.
Okay. Except for that you didn't realize that there was a lawnmower. No. All right. Did you also ride over the garden?
Yeah, there was a small portion of the garden I ran over and hit the lawnmower. My car wouldn't start. I, turned it off and I contacted the people inside the house and they took down my information. They said he wasn't home at the time.
Okay.
And I talked to him the next day. And I went.
How'd you get home?
I had a friend pick me up.
What'd you do with your car?
It stayed there overnight, and I got it towed in the morning.
Okay.
And talked to him about it, and the police came to my house saying that you can't flee the scene of the crime. But
how's that fleeing the scene of the crime? You walked in, gave your information, he wasn't there. What are you supposed to do? Pitch a tent?
He went there, and there was no police report filled out. I talked to Bob Burns. I called him. I found his phone. I talked to him in front of the cop, and I said, we made an agreement if I work for him and give him a lawnmower that things will be settled.
Okay.
And you can do that, I guess, the cop said. So that's what we did.
Okay, go ahead and come back over here. So now he did, so the deal was that if he worked for you for how long?
It was more than a couple hours, too. It was a whole Saturday.
Oh, was that the deal for a day?
4 hours, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that the deal, though? Work for me for 4 hours and replace my lawnmower?
The deal was pretty well settled. His dad had an old lawnmower that he gave me, and I said I'll try it out. And you know, the working was for the vegetables. That was fine. And I had the lawnmower, so everything basically was settled.
Okay.
But the problem was the lawnmower was knocking, and it wouldn't last too long. So I drove it back to his house, and I left it there, and I replaced the lawnmower. I got a new lawnmower.
Okay. And did you speak to him about the fact that the lawnmower didn't work?
I wasn't able to, Your Honor. From that point on, I was not able to contact the defendant
Why?
at all. At all. I don't know why. He wouldn't answer my phone calls.
So you would leave him messages and they would go unreturned?
Yes, and I would speak to his mom and I would speak to his stepdad, and they both said that he'll pay for the new mower. It's not a problem. And I left a lot of messages, and it was kind of odd because we're neighbors, you know. We live in the same town, and it's not like...
Were you ignoring him?
So this dude swerves to avoid the cat, which was kind of a responsible thing, but takes out the lawnmower. Is he responsible for the lawnmower?
Yes, his good deed is going to cost him.
His good deed is going to cost him. Well, the lesson there is run over the cat.
No, it's a natural instinct. He was avoiding the cat, doing a kind thing for the animal.
So he shouldn't have to pay.
I don't think so.
Who's the tiebreaker here?
Just because he was in the right doesn't mean he's not responsible for his actions.
I think you're going to be right there, going inside the courtroom.
I have pictures of the lawnmower, but no, I returned his calls a couple times with no answer. Probably called him 3 times maybe with no answer.
Okay,
And
he brought back the lawnmower though, right?
He did 2 weeks later.
Okay.
2 weeks later, I have a letter here by my father's lawnmower and picture.
You have a letter here from your father?
Yes.
Okay.
And a witness that we work and use that lawnmower. That was his main lawnmower.
Yeah, but here's the deal. He doesn't like the lawnmower. He thinks it makes a knocking sound. Let's assume he's unreasonable as can be. Don't you think that in the settlement agreement of you working for a day or half a day or whatever it was, you working for a day, and giving him a lawnmower, that it's implicit that it's a lawnmower that he's satisfied with that replaces the other lawnmower?
Well, I gave him the lawnmower, and I have pictures of wet grass caught into it. I mean, I think you're not supposed to cut wet grass. It gets caught up in the lawnmower, and when you do that, the lawnmower is not going to run correctly.
Was someone mowing wet grass?
Yeah, Your Honor, I mow wet grass all the time with my lawnmower. It stands up. The one that I have now doesn't seem to have a problem with that.
So you went out and you bought a new lawnmower.
Yes, Your Honor.
But the one he hit was an old lawnmower.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you understand that when you were in court, the measure of your damages would be the depreciated value of the item at the time of the wrong.
Right.
So you would be in a better position if you were to get, even though it's one step down, if you have a brand new lawnmower. Right. The idea is that the value of the item damaged gets replaced, right?
Right.
Right. So it's not an exact science. It's sort of a little rough justice. But I am going to order him to pay you $85 plus your court costs. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Right. Thank you.
Guys, hold on right where you are, please.
Well, the defendant has heard this verdict. Come on in here. It goes for the plaintiff $85. What's your thought about that?
You know, I thought I was going to win, full contact, but
Full contact.
Like hitting sport, football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I get it.
I don't know. I thought I was going to win this one.
All right. What have you learned from this whole thing?
Don't veer off the road for a cat.
Don't swerve to run the cat over?
Yeah. Well, kind of just miss the cat, but don't crash and do a lawnmower.
All right. Cool. All right,
guys.
Right down the hallway there. All right. So step on out here. You get $85. Satisfied with what you come out with?
Yes, Your Honor. It was a matter of principle. We're neighbors. We live in the same neighborhood, and we're supposed to help each other out in the neighborhood. And next time, maybe he'll help his neighbor out.
You want him to miss the cat, though, don't you?
Well, I did the same thing when I was a boy.
Hurry up.
A dog was running across the road. It was an icy, snowy road, and
5 seconds.
I tried to avoid him, and I rolled the car over 4 times. So the answer is
don't roll your car.
Right.
Harvey?
So this happens a lot with used items where the judge has to kind of figure roughly what it's worth. If you can get a third party before coming to court to establish the value of the used item, it's probably going to help you, and you'll probably end up getting that amount if it's reasonable.